Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Asian report, but I'd like to start with the S&P 500 here, so you've got a bit of an idea about the bigger picture here. So with the S&P 500, we've got this count here, which is possible, which is wave 3 over here, an A wave here, all the way over for a B wave, and then a C wave, and a D wave, and an E wave here, and then we can actually just go straight up from here. So it's a bit of a long shot, and I won't know until we get 5 waves here, and then a pullback here, and then further up at that point. Okay, so it's possible that there's a low there. So the Asian markets can have a low in place here, but it's certainly not confirmed in any way whatsoever. The other count here, the problem with this is that from wave D here down to wave E here, it's in 3 waves here. So we've got 3 waves up here, and we've got 3 waves here. So really it can be some sort of A wave, B wave, and C wave to this point. So on this particular chart here, the move down can be just looking at it as an A wave, and then an A and a B and a C wave here, and then come back down to the 2500 area here. So it only needs to complete 5 waves here until it's finished at this particular point here. So yes, this whole pattern here can be corrective, and then we can move down from here. So we need to be mindful of that with the Asian market. So with the Asian markets, they need to top out basically here, and then they'll be pulled down with these markets here. And this market here will also be, governed by they're obviously governed by stocks. So one of the largest stocks in the market is Amazon, as you know, and with Amazon we can look at this here as being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here for an A wave here, a B wave here also in 3 waves, and a C wave coming up into this space. So and then falling here. So the timing we have on all of this, really, we've got wave 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 in here. So this strong bar here is kind of the halfway mark, really, for this particular trend to move to the upside here. So we've got upside, so we want to be, still focused on the upside. I know some stocks will be struggling and markets will be struggling to the upside, and some will be leading to the upside. So we can expect Amazon up around the 1800 mark, but anywhere from the 1720 upwards will be under a lot of pressure in this. So I just wanted to explain this in terms of the US markets, because it will have a bearing on the Asian markets. So when we're looking at the Asian markets, what I might do is actually just go to CBA first, because that's one of our biggest stocks on the ASX, and it's got the finance really dominates the indices, well, the ASX 200 rather. And when you start looking at all the weights in the index, you'll see all the banks that have got most of the weight, and CBA, I'm not up to date with its weight, but it'd be up around the 9% mark. So from wave B over here, if you can see that, well, I was looking for 5 waves down. So, and the other banks are a little bit different on their trend to the downside as well. So I'm aware of that, but I always have to come back to CBA because of the weight of it. But wave 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 here, a nice 3rd wave here, 4th wave here. It does overlap this structure here, so it is a bit of a concern, but it's not the end of the world. And then 5 waves down here. So I was looking for a move back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, or the 38.2% retracement level from wave 2 up here to the low of wave 3 here. So in a nutshell here, there's a couple of things I want to point out. We've reached the 38.2% retracement level here now, and we could look at this as an A wave and a B wave and a C wave finished here. So the other point with this is that I suppose, this wave 4 here was rather sharp, wasn't it? It was kind of simple and sharp. Let me just go back and have a look here. Yeah, see, the wave 2s were quite time consuming here. So that's going to make the rule, well, I don't know about a rule, but a guideline of alternation in Elliott wave. Normally we would find wave 4 very complex. and wave 2 simple, but in this case we're getting complex wave 2s here and simple wave 4s here. So this was simple, so this one may be simple as well here. I can count this up either from this low here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here as wave A here, and back for wave B, and then up for wave C that can be just about finished, or I can count it from this low here as an A and a B and a C for the A wave and a B wave and a C wave. So we're at this area here. So I have to point out that the banks are they're a concern at the moment, being in this particular space here. Yeah, so just be mindful of that. So yeah, look, I'm not sure where I've counted this. It's probably on the tick chart, but I'll just go to the hourly chart here. So yeah, this is what we're looking for, roughly the 72 mark here. I'll have to come to the tick chart here. So yeah, I spent a fair bit of time on this here, and it does appear that we've got 5 waves here and 3 waves here, and it's so close to the bottom, but it never went through the low here. So it's kind of okay to call it a wave 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 and 5 here for the A wave here. But if you got it here, it doesn't really matter that much either. I mean, because at the end of the day, we've still got wave A here. And yeah, with this here, this low can also be the case as well. No, that's okay, that's fine. So yeah, look, I was looking at 5 waves moving to the upside here, and I'm not sure if I've got wave 4 here on this low or this low here, but either way I look at it, we're quite close to the top. But this little move down through here is in 3 waves, so we should make a new high here. But we're close, you know, we're close to this situation, sort of topping here. So just to bear that in mind, because that will pull the index around. The ASX 200 here, I'm just going to, don't worry about the count here too much. I'm just going to move these away here. So from the low here on the hourly chart, I was looking also up as wave A, B, and C, and so on. So in this case here, I know we can count this as the A wave here and the B wave here. We could also put this A wave here as well, which is also suitable, but it still leaves us with this low here. We were looking to go long through here. If you're long through here at the moment, then it's a little bit difficult to count this. I can count as 1 here and 2 here, and then this the third, I don't know, I mean, I have to count this as, you know, still as 1 and 2 in here, and 1 and 2. So it does look like it's still building here, but I do want to protect it at this particular stage. So I want to put a stop under the 20, and if you're putting it a stop under the 20, that means that it needs to go to the 16 under there. So I'll just move this. I'm just starting with the smaller picture today, so that can come down into 16 here as well. So let's just see how this goes. The US markets still need to push higher, so we should be pushing higher up into the 5.8 here. So we had this target area here, and the market has really stalled within this space. Our next target is the 5.8, so that's where we'll look to head up to here. Now the 5.8 is really quite important because, well, for me it's a medium level, but also it's got a 61.8% retracement level here. So we're obviously going to see the market into profit taking in this particular area here. So that's the price point to trade to. And then we just have to wait to see if we get support here. So support would be the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, some sort of correction here, and then we can look to go long, whoopsie-daisy, go long across here if we get a move back up from that point. So that will be the classic trading level setup that we'll use, but we'll just trade to that particular point. In terms of the bigger picture, we've been looking at let's just go to the daily chart here. So with the daily chart here, I was looking at it from the top here as wave 1 and 2 and down for 3 and 4 and 5 finishing here. So it's possible for this market to move up. It's we've got, you know, from the top here to here, the 61.8% is at the 5.8 here. So as I mentioned before, we're going to get some sort of profit taking going here. But if this market decides to do something different from the other markets, then we'll still have a correction here, but then we need to take caution here. So if it's going to go up from here, then we need that setup on that 5-8 level that I just mentioned. Okay, so we're just going to go step by step here, and if we get that support, well then that's fine. Then we can look to go to this point here. It is possible that we've got wave 4 low into place and we could just go straight up from here. So that's possible, but also I need to be mindful that the alternative count is having wave 5 top in here, and the move down here would be in 5 waves, so it would be wave 1 at that point, and then we would need to look at this as wave 2 over here, or another complicated count in the bigger picture would be wave B here. But in both cases here, we'd see a move back into 5,000 here. So we'll just monitor this particular move here. We want to stay with the trend because that's where the money is, but we need to tread lightly because there's different counts out there with that. And that said, let's move over to the rest of Asia and China here. We've got this whole move down through here. You know, with trends, there's a beginning, there's a middle and an end. So this is the beginning, this is the middle of the trend, and this is the ending of the trend. This here does appear that we should pretty much take, you know, move down to the 10,000 from here because we're locked under the last level of the medium level here. Yeah, and this move down through here, I've got it as wave 5 of 3 here. And then this is an A and a B and a C as wave 4 here. This wave 4 could be a little bit more complicated than that as well, and have the wave 4 sitting over just on this one here. I'm not going to put out a trade on this, so I'm not going to go intraday here, but I can point out that if this low here is breached, then you can go short from that if that's a market that you trade. And in line with that, the Hong Kong market, HSI here, we've been also looking just on the 4-hour chart, we've been looking at wave 3 here and an A wave here. And then we've worked our way through another A wave here. This is up in 3 waves, so we have to look at that as a B and then a C down here. So we've got this blue A, blue B, and then we're looking for wave C up here. So with wave C up here, I was looking for 5 waves in terms of 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So it's quite possible we've got a top in play here. And if that's the case, we can go short below this low here. If I've made a mistake here, then the mistake would be that this is a wave 3 up here, this is a wave 4, and this is a wave 5, and we'll push one more move to the upside here to this point here. But I won't go there on that. I'll just stay with this, and that would come in because this would be a little 1 and 2 in here, and a 3 and a 4 and a 5 here. But I'll just put this here, but just as long as you know. And that's why I've got this short trade here, or even a stop if you're long on this here, because we might have been long on this here, yeah, on these highs here, so we don't need that. And that can basically be in play there now. Just got to... Yes, I'm just a bit concerned if there's a 1-2 in here to make that through, but let's just have a look. That looks to me quite impulsive to the downside, so we'll pop that over there. I don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Okay. And over to Japan and then India. So with Japan here, the Nikkei, just on the 1-hour chart here for a moment, we were looking at wave 1 here, wave 2 here, and then we were looking to go, obviously we're looking to go long above one of these highs here. You know me, I start off with the top and then I bring it down to whatever I understand and know at the time. So, but anyway, I have moved this red stop from down here lower up to here because I think we've got from wave 2 here, we've got this strong third wave, haven't we? And then we've got wave 4 here. So I'm thinking that this is wave 1 here and wave 2, and then 5 waves all the way up here for wave 3 and wave 4 here, and then wave 5 here. So I want to protect what we've got. So we're looking at placing that stop there. and the Nifty, great name for India. Nifty, they're very nifty, very creative and nifty. So in this space here, just on the daily chart here, I know it's possible we've got wave 3 here, and we've got an A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave here. So it's possible to have this, if I can just copy this, and have this low in place here. We've talked about this before. I'm just gonna put it as an alternative count because yeah, well, it's possible. So the other point here that I've changed here, I'm looking at this as also wave B, C here, and a D here, and then down for E for a wave 4 here. Now this would be in line, partly, this move here would be partly in line with the US markets, and we still got higher to go here into the sort of top of this little space here for that. Oops, I just want to leave that there, that's important, and I'll just remove that now. So wave D, and then down to wave E here for wave 4. So really we've got like a really large triangle pattern across here for wave 4. The other count here, of course, is that we've got wave 5 up here. Yep. And we're looking down at wave 1 and back for wave 2, a bit like the Australian market here. So we're looking at this here moving up in a corrective pattern, and within that we can just go to the 4-hour chart or 2-hour chart. So here we go. So wave A, and then an A and a B and a C for the B wave, and then we're looking for 5 waves to move up. So we've got a little bit further to go. So the 11,000 is the target here, even though that it can go higher. So there'll certainly be orders sitting at 11,000 and before that as well. So you don't have to set it at 11,000. If you just always go to the, say, 10,998 or something like that, you know, it'll save you a little bit of stress in case it just, because there'll be sellers coming into that supply coming in, excuse me. The count to the upside here, I was looking at wave 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, this spike down for the fourth, and then we're going up for the fifth of the third here, and then the fourth and the fifth. So a little bit more to go with all of this here. Yeah, the other way to count this too is having this wave 3 here, whoops-a-daisy, this wave 3 here, sitting on top here, and I'll just dull that out as an alternative count there as well. But I have moved the stop up under this space here, so yeah, always protect what we've got with a bit of logic at the right time. So I'll just save that, and yeah, look, that's where we are at the moment for all of that. So even though you may not trade the US market, it's a good idea to keep a bit of an eye on it. And we know that some markets are leaders, so the Nifty is a leader to the upside. The Nikkei is not too far behind it, and then the Hong Kong's not far behind those ones either in that order. And then we're seeing Australia up there, and then lastly we've got China as the weakest within that thing. So we have leaders and followers, and so to take that, you know, these leaders in Asia are getting leads around the consumer countries. So you know, this is why we're watching Amazon and those larger stocks there in line with the S&P 500. So you got to kind of bring them all together a little bit. It's like a big bowl of jelly wobbling. Alrighty, cheers.